spooky setting you got there, much more than me.
This is my studio.
Whoa.
I know it's pretty boss, isn't it? I know nobody says it.
Is that a ship back there?
Is it a ship?
It looks like a ship.
You know what? It kind of does. No, this is my okay, so this is
okay. Now I see. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so my kid's back there, and I wanted to set up more lights, but I didn't know this was a thing until like today. So, and then I keep building the stage out, and then this is really cool because behind these pallets, water containers.
Yeah.
They have like little bars or whatever, so I can hang on my cords and stuff, which is awesome. So I have a little door here, and there's a guitar in front of it right now, but
genius.
Good, yeah.
Wait, is this like a?
Yeah, it's pretty dope, isn't it?
Is it a tent? Where?
It's a barn.
A barn?
No, it's a barn.
Holy.
Yeah, here I'm going out. So
yeah,
check it out. It's pretty cool. So you see, I'm walking out. That's my friend Squid. Hey, Squid and Dozer.
Hey.
I don't know if you can see him. Oh, Dozer. Yeah, Squid's helping me out with some tech stuff because, you know.
That is
so.
So.
That's the deal. Pretty great, huh?
I wish I had a place to practice like that.
Well, this is actually my tree farm.
You got a tree farm?
It's called Annie's Tree Farm. Yeah. It's called Annie's Tree Farm, and it's 30 acres of trees, and I'll just give you a little scan. That's just outside the barn, like by the front. But there's like, we could go on and on. And my practice is on the other property. They went together when I bought them. I was really looking just for a property for my practice, for my psychology practice.
Yeah.
We provide therapy. Lots of kids. I specialize in PTSD and ADHD because, hello, I'm the poster child of ADHD.
Yeah.
And proud to say that, but yeah. So this is where our greenhouses are. That's the back door of the barn.
Annie,
yeah.
Annie, tell us about your band.
Okay, so I'm in Corners of a Circle, which has been together for about 12 years. I've been with them for I think 5 now, and we do it's a jam band, you know. So we do some Dead, we do some Stones, you know, and over the years I put my little influence in there a little bit, you know, and doing stuff that I like to do. Or you know, I'm not exactly a deadhead, but I'm not against it. It's just I get lost in the vortex, you know. With the repetition and stuff. But I like to do I don't know, a little bit harder stuff. I'm really blues based. I studied jazz and blues vocally in my early 20s, and have always been a musician. My family are all musicians, so just kind of was something, you know, that I fell into, I guess.
No, very nice. Where are you out of?
Well, I live in Woodstock, but my band, Corners of a Circle, is out of Mundelein. We practice at the Just for Fun roller rink.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we just played at at Hempstock Farms.
And how did you get the band together? Have you always been in music?
Well, I have. I mean, I was in my first band when I was like 19 or something like that.
Yeah.
I was a gymnast, and then when I was 12, I blew my knee, and then I discovered Steve Perry, and I realized I could sing. And so I credit Steve Perry, you know, from Journey, for that, because I didn't really know, even though I already played an instrument and stuff, but I had no idea. But, you know, so that was cool. It's kind of the when one door closes, another one opens kind of story, I suppose.
How did you get into music? Like, do you take music lessons or in school or what?
Well, yeah, like I said, my family are all on my mother's side. They're all musicians. I started playing the flute. My mom played the flute, and her sisters were musicians as well. My one Aunt Brenda, she was a musician as well, but she was she was a national baton twirler and actually led the Rose Bowl parade when I was like 4 or something. So that's pretty cool. My grandfather sold musical instruments door to door for Selmer, which is a woodwind company back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Flutes, clarinets, oboes, you know, that kind of thing. So we were naturally all, musicians or whatever. My other aunt went on to get her master's degree in music, and she has been a teacher and has been an integral part of her church and that kind of thing for their music programs. But
Before I forget, what is the website or what's the Facebook page?
it's Corners of a Circle. Oh man, I meant to have a little sticker right in front of me, but
Yeah, no problem. All right, Corners of the Circle. We'll look it up.
find
And
right. So
yeah, no problem. Hey, here's our drummer for hire, Chris Rhodesy.
uh-huh.
Say hi to Annie, Rhodesy.
Hey, Annie, what's happening?
How are you, man?
You guys
Yeah,
know
it's been
each
a
other?
while. I hope all is well.
Yeah, nice to see you, man.
So,
You're
so
up.
you guys know each other.
Yep.
We've met a few times.
Chris,
Yeah.
look at that awesome setup she's got. She's got a whole freaking barn to practice in.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's a stage, man.
Are you still out in Woodstock, Annie?
Yes, yes, sir.
Nice. Yeah, look at that.
It's pretty
A
great.
whole, looks like a whole. It looks like a club down there.
It's a barn.
Yeah.
She gave us a walkthrough at the beginning. We're gonna play it at the beginning of the show. I'm like, holy crap! From back here, I thought it was like a half of a pirate ship that she had up there, but no, it's
the poly looks like sails on those.
yeah, that's what yeah. It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, that's all the crap from up there doesn't blow in my face when I'm like drumming and stuff, because that's really annoying.
What shows do you have coming up so we can promote it?
We actually just finished a big round, and we're actually booking right now. I think we have a couple things kind of in the works, but nothing confirmed to,
And if
speak
someone
of-
wants to book you, because this is the important stuff, sometimes I forget, Annie. I want to get it out of the way. How do people get in touch with your band?
Right. You can call me or Facebook me or message me directly or through the band Facebook page. Just go to quarter. If you look up Quarters of a Circle, I think it's like COAC. We use that as an acronym a lot. Otherwise, I'm Annie Stokesberry, and I have a couple of platforms. And
Okay, perfect. Or we'll after the show, we'll friend each other, Annie. We'll be best buds, and I'll know exactly what's going on. Okay, great.
okay.
I want to go on a little different tangent. Rhodesy, bear with me.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
kind of intrigued. I also have a mental health podcast, Annie, and my sister's a neuropsychologist, and we got into neurofeedback back in the day,
Sure.
and music and mental health kind of go hand in hand, don't they?
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And if you want to fight dementia and stuff, learn to play the drums.
So Rhodesy's never going to get daft on us.
Right. That's right. You just gotta, yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
count on it, Pete.
But for kids, going through in their youth, going through awkward years, it could be a great thing to find new friends, helps with studying, right? Go through all the positive things about music, Annie.
And music is math. It's the bridge between the right and the left brain. So if you think about math being like the left brain and English or literature or reading, whatever it is the other part of the brain. It would having different parts of your limbs or thinking about a time signature and counting stuff out, still emoting at the same time is so just, I mean, not just, but even singing is that, we're using different parts of our brain at the same time and we're trying to coordinate that. I mean, for me, drumming is like I really love to drum. So that's, and I just learned in the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, I've started slowly, but I got super serious.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
It is a good release, right? I mean, it just
It
kind of
is.
takes it all away.
It is. And it's the best rehab ever. If you have, I mean, in my opinion, I was in a bad motorcycle accident and I broke 4 bones in my pelvis, so I couldn't stand. But when I went home, I was like, fuck this. I can't just sit still because ADHD hyper person. And so I thought, well, I could sit behind a throne, and I did, and I started playing 20 or 30 hours a week, and man, I just got really, I went down the hole for sure.
Yeah.
And he brought up the key word ADHD. And right now in schools, if you can't figure out what's wrong with the kid, you paint them with that broad brush of ADHD. Doesn't learning music help the concentration and study, or what do you think?
And I mean, when you think about it, ADHD, the acronym stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, right? And it's not really about an attention deficit. It's really that we have too much attention. We have 18 thoughts going on in our brain at the same time. It's not like we can't pay attention to one thing, because if I'm in a hole and I'm going down that, if I'm hyper focused, we can hyper focus like nobody's business. I mean, I can play drums, and 7 hours in, I'm like, whoa, I'm getting tired. My arm's kind of hurting. And I'm like, shit, sun's coming up. Whoa, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
Or that's my experience. I do think that it keeps your brain busy. A lot of it is, people with ADHD were really pretty smart, really, most of the time.
Well, it's about filtering and prioritizing, right? And if you're concentrating on one thing, you kind of focus in on that, and
that's how interested you are in it too.
yeah, right.
I actually, being a teacher, a drum teacher, when I was younger, I had two students on the same night, and actually there was like an hour between them. But the one kid, he came in and he was like, you couldn't keep him in the drum seat. He was all over the place, and he really had no attention. He didn't want to learn anything, And then the second kid, that would come in that night, he actually was medicated. And I mean, I've never seen, a 12-year-old kid stoned out of their mind before. I mean, this kid he was like, hammered.
A lot more details about that. We would need details about the medication the child was taking, who assessed him, where he landed on the T-score as far as the severity of his ADHD pathology. There's a lot of factors. I can't even begin to speak about that, because there's including stress of that day, or whether he took the meds or whatever. I mean, there's so many things.
Yeah, it was just the difference of seeing one kid that wasn't medicated and one that was, and just how far apart they were.
But it's not the same kid, so you don't. And again, you don't know what else this kid was on, or what the dosage was, whether he was assessed appropriately, or you don't have any of that information.
Right. No, that makes sense.
General.
Yeah, everybody's different, right? That makes sense.
Everybody is, and like it or not, there are bad seeds in every barrel, right? So
sure.
Well, there's a lot of variables involved, and music can be a good way to help on the learning, confidence, and all that, and
resiliency. Resilience is key. If you are not resilient as a musician, you're fucked. I mean, and I've bombed. I have. I mean, then most people out there who are going to see this know that. And you know what? It's hard in the moment, and it sucks. And you're like, oh, damn, man, how did I do that? Oh, I hate myself, or whatever. But okay, grow, learn. There were other things that were part of that. And, if you didn't practice enough, and if you didn't prepare enough, or you took something for granted, okay, so be it. Let's learn, and let's not do that the next time.
Sure.
And that's hard. It's hard to overcome that kind of stuff. It's hard to know that you messed up over and over or whatever. But without that persistence, you're never going to even make it to even have a band, a local band. I'm not even talking about becoming Madonna or something,
Yeah.
We talked about music being a stress release, and for kids that are feeling stress, or people in general feeling stress, and they're like, well, what can I do? What drug can I take? What program can I do? There's something out there called heart rate variability. Annie, I don't know if you want to talk to that. As simple as just learning how to breathe correctly. You want to speak to that?
Absolutely. And when you're a singer, well, any musician really, this would benefit from. I took voice lessons from someone named Ruth Allen, who was a jazz person back in the day. in Chicago. She lived on, the Magnificent Mile and all that stuff. She auditioned you and she sent you to an ENT before she would accept you as a student. And they would check and make sure you didn't have nodes and that kind of thing, because you will develop nodes if you were not breathing effectively or proficiently, and it's diaphragmatic breathing. So it's not from the chest. It's like where your rib cage meets, right underneath your solar plexus. And there are some specific exercises that really help develop that. And that's the first thing, is knowing how to breathe. You have to breathe diaphragmatically or you're going to lose your voice. I could sing all day. I could sing 3 hours a night, whatever. And even day after day, I don't lose my voice because I know how to breathe.
Do you have any tips for people that are like HRV? Okay, what is that? There a certain amount of breaths per minute, or what can you do? Or maybe show that you have some control of what's going on, because if you breathe correctly, your heart rate goes down. Any advice?
I would say the first thing I teach people about diaphragmatic breathing, at least from a psychological standpoint, when I'm beginning to teach somebody like meditation, I say, breathe in for the count of 4, just through your mouth. Hold, 2, 3, 4, and then out. And you're just letting it out enough so like a candle was in front of you, and you're just making the flame flicker a little bit. And it's about even, and it's all about slowing your roll. Even if you're doing something that's crazy fast, you're doing Black Betty, or and it's like, but you have to practice it to know where the phrasing is, just like you're playing the flute or you're playing any other kind of woodwind instrument. You have to know where the breath marks are so that you're not wasting your breath. And if you need to catch something to sustain a note, you got to catch another breath there somewhere, even if it's quick, and then you can sustain so much more. So it's not winging it. There is some method to the madness, I suppose.
Interesting.
Now we have 2 drummers on the show.
Yay!
Annie, how did you said you've been doing it for 4 years. Like what got you into it? Necessity or?
I always wanted to drum, but the problem is I'm a lead singer. How do you be out front and in the back line at the same time, kind of thing, right? And so I just kind of put it off or whatever. And then I started a band. It was called Is It My Body, and it was really great. And one of the members, Brian Barry, he taught me the backbeat. And so I was like, okay. And I practiced it for a couple hours. And I'm like, okay, I think I got this. And then it just I just started messing around. I did take lessons for about a year from Brad at Jimmy's Music in Woodstock.
Shout out, Brad. Shout out.
Yeah, hey, Brad. Yeah, no, he was awesome. He taught me a lot. He really did. And I just got, I have, I don't know how many drum playlists or whatever that I just practice over and over, and and I like everything. So, I really like some funk stuff. I like to throw a little shuffle in, so.
Nice.
And yeah.
Chris Rhodes, drummer for hire. Why'd you get into
Yeah.
drums? Maybe the same reasons that Annie did.
Well, I got into drums because we didn't have a drummer.
Necessity.
I wanted to be Ace Frehley more than anything in the entire world.
That's awesome.
I wanted to be a lead guitar player. And actually it's funny because my personality, I'm much better as a drummer because I don't like to be out front or when people are yelling at me. Pete. Chris Rhodes.
Oh, you're right.
Your biggest fan, you know
My
that.
mom
brother.
a heart attack, Pete. She was sitting right underneath you.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
One other motivation that I think is kind of cool is that, as I'm getting older or whatever, I want to be part of music for as long as I can. And I can still be a front person and it's cool. And I still have the endurance and all of that. But I want to be prepared to do something else should that not be the case anymore. So I don't have to just give it up, And so in some ways, being behind the kit is a little bit easier on your physical. That sounds so weird, doesn't it? I'm listening to myself say it. I'm like, that's ridiculous. But it's not the same. It's not the same pressure. It's not, dancing around and that kind of thing. And I don't know, it's just different for me. But yeah, you're still using, the top and the bottom of your body, but you don't have to keep that balance and stuff, which is, kind of tricky after you broke 4 bones in your pelvis. And I've had 3 knee replacements too. So, but hey, I'm good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Wow,
I mean,
3.
I'm doing this Aussie Invitational this coming weekend, which when this airs, it's going to be over with. But just thinking about the different drummers, Paul Wheeler and Greg Rapp and Pete Durbin, myself. I mean, everybody's a little bit different, and their approaches to the kit are different. Some of the guys, they can do all the stick tricks and all that stuff, and
Right.
it's, I would say, to your, just to have an argument about, I think it's, I think the pressure is the same no matter what,
Sure.
uh,
I don't
instrument you're playing on stage. About 40 years of this stuff, and I still crap my pants every time I get on stage.
really.
I do.
I
It
know.
never goes away.
Makes me the most nervous is when there's a lot of other musicians out there. Then I get nervous. I'm like, ah! But in a typical gig,
Well, for me, it's like, hey, there's Mike Hansen. Don't screw up.
right? Or there's Chris Rhodes. Oh no!
Yeah, exactly. You just look out there and it's like, I see other drummers, and I've been really fortunate that, I get to call a lot of these guys, the drummers in the Chicagoland area. Some of them are,
Yeah,
some of my best friends. It's great.
yeah, and it's kind of the same, for lead vocals too. I see Cassie and Elise out there, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Annie, maybe we got some parents listening and they have some kids and they want to get them started in music and, they're going to swallow real hard and say, okay, I'll do drums. Do you have any advice? And then Chris, you can follow up with like, what would be a beginning set? I mean, do you get the electronic ones and you do headphones, or what would you suggest for a parent to get for their kids for a starting kit?
I don't think so. Now, for me, it's kind of like the same with guitar. It's like, okay, you got to learn an acoustic guitar before you plug in. Same with drums. You got to do the live kit thing rather than the electric stuff, because it's going to impact the way you play. If you don't, you have to have a good foundation. It's like doing scales. It's like singing do re mi. It's doing. You got to start with hot cross buns, man. If you don't, you're cheating, and then you're only cheating yourself because you can't do the stuff. You're not going to be Eddie Van Halen out the gate. Come on, you got to know your scales, and you got to know your descending chromatic and all the Mixolydian stuff. You got to know that stuff.
And you don't need brand new equipment, right? Why spend the money if you don't know if you're going to use it?
Right. Basics. Get the foundation. It's almost like a reward system, right?
Chris, what do you think? Like, how many different snares you got?
Well, I mean, just sitting here thinking about this, and I've actually told a lot of younger players this over the years. School. The first thing you got to to Annie's point, you have to learn your rudiments. Whether you stick with that or not, that's up to you. But I'm one of these types that you should join, your school band, whether that's the marching band, the jazz band, whatever. And the reason being is it's free drum lessons.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely. And
They will teach you the right, left, sticking, all of that stuff. And you don't have to pay a music store to do it.
Your ear. You're already learning. If you're in an ensemble at all, it's training to sink in and to attune to the other players.
Yeah.
Because out there, okay, I mean, forgive my language, but you might as well just be jerking off. I mean, that's not what music is. It's a collaborative.
I would do music a lot more if it was.
I think it's enough of that, honestly. Woo.
Practice makes perfect, Annie.
Yeah, again, I would say, investing in a snare drum and some drumsticks and a couple of books from your local music
Yeah,
store.
get into that. What are you looking for in a
Place to
snare?
start.
Like a parent's like, do you go to a garage sale? Do you go to a used music place? The music, like Sam Ash or so, like what would you do?
Oh, today in today's world, I mean, you can go anywhere. You go online. You could, again, you go to a music store, and you could probably get a beginner snare. Again, I don't know what people do now these days. I mean, I pretty much know what I want and order it all online anyway. So,
Right.
Right.
but yeah, I guess if you were a parent or something, I guess, you do a little bit of research online, and then you maybe go over to, say, like Dr. Woods or the music store in Woodstock or something. And you have you ask questions. I got a beginner. They may even offer you some lessons, something like that. I would say start with your local music store.
So do you get
It's
one snare, one cymbal? Like what's the beginning
I
kit?
wouldn't do any. Actually, you know what? There'd be two things. I would have a snare drum, and I would buy a practice pad, because the practice pad, the kid can work on all of their rudiments without really making a lot of noise. But yet you have the snare drum, because the pad themselves don't have the same feel as a snare drum is going to have. So once you get good on the pads, then you can move over to your snare drum, and then you can work through the exercises and work your way up to a kit. And you can always add on. You can buy a bass drum, you can buy a tom, you can buy cymbals. You don't have to buy it all at once.
Sure.
Annie,
I
how
like-
about you? You started as an older, younger child. Like what did you start with?
Well, I mean, the first instrument I played was the flute, but then I started singing after the gymnastics thing fell
Yeah.
apart.
Right.
And I started singing in bands. I was like 19, so it's been a minute. All kinds of stuff, and I studied jazz and blues from Ruth Allen, which was a great experience. And I learned so much, and she was awesome. She was great. I mean, we're really where I come from. I mean, I sing all the, the Billie Holiday stuff and all those standards. And
But the beginning equipment that you bought, what did you get?
my kid,
Yeah.
well, I had access to a drum kit because it was in my basement, because that's where our rehearsal space was. So I just practiced on that. But I am left-handed, so I knew I needed to get my own kit because I couldn't do it on the right, and switching it back and forth got to be a pain or whatever. And I learned with a simple backbeat. That's it. That's just, and I did that forever and ever and ever. And I did it to all different kinds of music, just to get that foundation down, because it doesn't matter how fancy you are as a drummer. If you don't have that beat, forget it. You got to be able to stick it and be consistent throughout an entire song or whatever. That's way more important than the fancy stuff, which can get boring. And I do have a tendency to kind of get kind of over it. And I'm like, blah, 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 then I kind of go crazy, like Animal or whatever. But I'm like, okay, I'm better now. Like, I just had to kind of get it out of my system or whatever. But
Well, I'm told I need to smile more.
what?
I'm too serious. I don't smile enough when I play. I'm too serious.
Well, everybody has their play face, right?
You need a Joker mask.
Exactly.
Like,
I need one of those fake mouth lip things.
Yeah.
Big smile on my face.
I'm always curious on how more kids can get into this. School of Rock's a great way to do it. School,
Yeah.
right?
That was always my favorite part of Lollapalooza. Like, awesome. I saw Slash play with the kids over there one year, and it was so great. I think that's an awesome program. I wish it was around when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, really,
Yeah.
I think that's great. And I think that, I have a lot of kids that I see for therapy that are involved in music and band or, choir or whatever. And they're really trying to do more creative stuff, more upbeat, more modern, kind of stuff. And I have to, tilt my hat to those teachers and directors of those bands and orchestras or choirs that are in the public school system. My aunt Rita was one of them, and she worked really hard in the Homewood Flossmoor area for years. I mean, she was probably a music teacher for like 30 years.
We usually talk about AI on this show, and one of the things that I'm not sure if that's where Pete was just going, but I've been playing around with this tool. I actually have
Uh-oh.
Probably about 3/4 of an album written already.
Really?
What?
I don't know. It just freaks me out. I don't know. I'm like, where's the human connection? It's like I could look at pictures of the forest or the woods or nature, but it's not the same as being in it and feeling it again and smelling the dirt or what. It's just,
But what
I
do
don't know.
record label executives do? Like, look how the Monkees were put together. I think in
Yeah.
1967 they had, I don't know, several #1 albums, and they were just plucked, and put together.
They took
Right.
Neil Diamond songs.
Yeah, Neil Diamond, right?
But for me, I would prefer something like, Billie Eilish. I always mess up her last name. She's recording in a little living room that looks like any apartment we've ever lived in. And it's her and her brother, and they're, just
Yeah.
Mhm.
doing their thing. And I'm like, that's what I don't need it to be fancy. I don't need it necessarily, although that could be cool too. But I don't want to misspeak on that.
But
But
Chris, do you think AI is getting more kids into it? Because where I was going with it, remember Rockstar and
oh
Guitar
yeah,
Hero, the electronic, getting into it? I don't see that
Mhm.
much as anymore. Do you guys?
I think it's more about what they're like. For instance, like the other day, I listened to Master of Puppets. If it was done as a yacht rock band created it, and
Yeah.
it was unbelievable. And I
right,
think, like I said, the using that technology, I think kids now they're getting into music, but I think it's more about mixing it and
right.
producing it
Well,
more
and
so than actually performing it.
I have a couple kids who use some programs that are doing that, but their music sounds a lot like the video game music kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I do see what you're saying, and I mean, I don't know what the future holds. I think there's always going to be, old school. There's also always going to be, people who are doing more the synth or whatever. Like, we kind of saw the '80s, which I also love, but I don't know. It's just who knows
So
what's going.
basically, Pete, I guess what I would say to you guys is it's ultimately like this. If you have an imagination and you have, like, say, an AI tool,
Right.
you don't need to learn to play an instrument. You can write every part, every riff, every chorus, every verse, every bridge. You don't even need to know how to play an instrument.
I don't know. There's something about the imperfection of like live music that
Sure.
makes it perfect somehow. Like I
Sure.
don't want something that's that.
If
Even
it,
the bigger bands, they use tracks. I mean,
I can always tell. It
but you know what I'm saying? It takes out
does. And that you're
that
absolutely
air of it because everybody's playing to a click and everybody's playing
correct.
to,
Yeah.
Casper the Ghost on stage.
And I lose interest pretty quick when I pick that up, just because I want it to be organic. I want it to be a connection, between and amongst the musicians. I don't. That's me.
Yeah,
Everybody
sure.
can like whatever they like, but
Rhodesy, who was the guest we had on, the bass player that he just goes up there with a mic and he's got a camera at
Oh,
the end?
Nick.
Who is it?
Nick. I don't want to butcher his last name. Sanzeria.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, I know who he is. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
But he just goes up with the bass and the tracks and the camera and I mean, and people are like poking him to see if he's real, if it's all, just one
Right.
Yeah.
person. So
Yeah.
it can be done.
Sorry, Nick. I didn't mean to butcher your name.
It can be, and that's isn't that I don't know if I could say the name or not, but the libido, is that libido folk circus dude?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yep. They're really good. They're a polished show. I mean, but it's a different entertainment value to me. I don't really look to them like I look at it somebody like I don't know, like Wildflower or somebody like that, where it's that connection on stage and they're in real time. It's a different experience. Although I like Libido and I've seen them multiple times,
right.
but it's a different quality. It's like seeing Mark Tucker Band and then seeing Beyonce or something. I don't know. you know, that production thing. I guess. I
All
don't know.
right, it's time the show to sell some tickets. Unless Chris Rhodes wants to take over for Bongo Mike's questions.
Oh yeah, we've got questions. We've got
All
questions.
right, take it over, Chris.
Okay, Annie. So the people on our that watch our show, they want to know what was the first concert that you went to?
Journey. Journey.
Chicks love
Was this
Journey.
when you were a kid or
I
how
think
old?
I was a kid. I was probably like my older sister. We kind of stuck in, and it was one of the last uh, shows in Chicago they did every year, and it was on Navy Pier or something. I can't remember, Chicago Fest or something. Yeah, and we stuck in, and that was my first. But I ended up seeing them like 16 times. But I love punk too. You know, I have I mean, I have an extensive record collection, and I love shows.
You brought up Chicago Fest. I hate to go on a quick tangent here, but people make fun or they're so impressed with the beer snake at Wrigley. Hey man, when you're underage and you're carrying around those stacks of cups at at Chicago Fest,
Yep, we
that's
climbed,
live.
climbed the fence, me and my sister. Yeah, it was.
I digress. Continue, Chris.
I'm not sure I want to continue after that.
No, man, that was so cool.
Okay, so since we're headed into the Halloween season, what's your favorite Halloween movie?
I don't know. I don't know that I have a favorite Halloween movie, really.
No?
I don't know. No, not really. I mean,
Just say Halloween.
Yeah,
well,
I was gonna say, yeah, that's the easy one.
that's not it though. I think the Stepford Wives was like way scarier than any of the Halloween movies. But that's me.
So there isn't a movie that you remember, say when you were a kid. Was there a Halloween movie that scared you half to death?
This because I was a kid when that was like a thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
And then our last and final question, Pop-Tarts, love them or hate them?
I like the strawberry ones, but they have to be toasted just right.
Okay, so you have to toast them.
Yeah.
No
No,
microwave.
not eating no, I'm not eating a Pop Tart raw. No, no. Too good. No, that's just not right. It's a texture thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the brown sugar and cinnamon ones are okay, not toasted, but all the others you got to toast them.
So, but again, toasted.
Yeah, agreed.
And then I recently heard you put butter on them, Chris. Did you hear that?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I got to try that.
My dad used to put butter on donuts, and I thought it was the grossest thing. I'm like, oh, it's actually gross. Enough grease. Like, no.
Aren't they cooked like in butter?
Yeah.
Lord, who's counting?
Yeah, right.
Oh, Annie, what a great show we just had. What a great venue you have there. Oh my God, we could have a nice little
Have a
practice
party
there.
there.
Hey, come out and jam. Hit me up if you want to come and hang out. It's super cool. I've got a decent PA. We could do a lot here. So
Now, Annie, are you taking any new clients? Can we, we got some music fans out there that might want to.
yeah, I have 3 other therapists that work for me, and everybody's great. And you can check out all the bios on our website. It's just drannitherapy.com. Super easy. Doctor is spelled out.
Spell out the whole thing.
DoctorAnnitherapy.com.
Way to go. Way to go. Rhodesy, I know you're doing the Oz thing this week. You got anything past that? Because you are our drummer for hire, always looking for work.
I'm first and foremost, I'm excited to be part of the Ozzy Invitational. We're raising money for the Children's Hospital of Chicago. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then the 25th, got a couple songs I'm playing with Mikey D and Friction.
Oh,
at
that's
the
right.
Org.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, Rhodesy, I know the show's coming out after the event. Why don't you send me some videos and we'll put a little clip right here and show people how awesome you are, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate that.
Annie and Chris, thank you so much. What a great episode of the Hogpod, Chicago Local Music Scene Podcast.
Yeah, good to see you again, Annie.
All right, nice to see you too, Chris. Later.
All right, turn
Later.
off those lights before you get a seizure.
I'm good. Thanks.